fellow adventurers. Welcome to Aurora's Reading Adventures. Are you ready to start on another exciting journey together? Today, we are going to be entering the magical world of the Serendipity Books. And these are some books that I grew up reading, and I absolutely love. These actually were the books that really got me excited to start reading on my own, and just got me really excited about books in general. And I love these books. So today we are going to be meeting Gabby, a curious creature known as a Furry Eyefull. Now Gabby is excited about the world around her and loves to tell everyone about it. She also loves to invent new games to play, and she always wants all her friends to play with her, but sometimes they don't want to. And this can make Gabby very crabby. So before we get started, if you haven't already, be sure to like this video and to subscribe to my channel so you know when a new adventure is waiting for you to join in. But for now, let's start today's adventure with Crabby Gabby, written by Stephen Cosgrove and illustrated by Robin James. Beyond the time when you fall asleep, in a place beyond your final dreams, is a land of mystical, magical melodies, a land of soft, velvet trees and giggling, wandering streams, a place where all wishes come true and nothing happens that you don't want to. It was in this land that certain little creatures lived and saw all that could be seen. They, like always and before, were called Furry Eyefulls. They wandered from valley to valley, looking at a little bit of this and wondering at a little bit of that. One special Furry Eyefull, smaller than the rest and more talkative than most, was Gabby. She not only wanted to see all that she could see, but had to tell everyone about it as they were seeing it too. Day in and day out, Gabby was the one who suggested that the Furry Eyefulls did what the Furry Eyefulls did for the day. She awakened everyone in the morning with her excited chatter about all the things they would do and see. "Wake up! Wake up! It's time for a new Gabby game," she shouted eagerly. "Today we must see where the river pours into the sea." One by one, the furries woke with a stretch and a yawn and followed Gabby to another beautiful sight. Day by day, week by week, Gabby suggested this and suggested that in all her Gabby games. But soon, the suggestions turned into requests, and the requests turned into demands. Come on! I have a new Gabby game," she shouted. "We must go see the parading peacocks." The whole gaggle of Furry Eyefulls rushed to see the peacocks. They settled into the gentle meadow moss and prepared to watch for hours and hours. Then, as the peacocks fanned their gorgeous tails, Gabby was rushing them off to somewhere else. "Hurry! Hurry! We must get to the lake in the woods to watch the silverfish flash in the noontime sun," she demanded, and off the Furry Eyefulls went, waddling through the woods. After they had sat by the lake for a time or two, Gabby jumped up to her fuzzy feet and said, dusting the leaves from her fur, "Well, that's enough of that. Now we are going deep into the forest and throw nuts and pine cones at the chipmunks. It's one of my most favorite Gabby games. Come on, guys, let's go." And with that, they all stood and started to leave. But one of the younger Furry Eyefulls spoke up. "I really don't want to play another Gabby game. Why don't we all just sit a while and watch the fish in the lake?" Well, Gabby was fit to be tied. "Why don't you just sit there then?" she asked sarcastically. "In fact, why don't you play a new Gabby game with your friends, the fish?" Then she booted the little furry creature into the lake. The other Furry Eyefulls laughed and laughed as the younger one tried to climb from the water with a lily pad on his head. Then they followed Gabby down the trail. The Eyefulls waddled to the middle of the forest to the tall, stately hazel tree, where all the chipmunks lived. Gabby picked up a pine cone and threw it, narrowly missing a tiny chipmunk who scampered out of the way. Then all the furries started throwing hazelnuts and sticks at the other chipmunks, chattering angrily in the branches. Gabby just laughed and laughed to see the chipmunks dodging this way and that. Copying Gabby, all the other furry eyefulls joined in her giggling and laughter. It seemed like such a good Gabby game. Finally, one of the furries said, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. After all, the poor little chipmunks have a right to be in the forest, too." Gabby looked at her in disbelief. "Oh, you like the little chipmunks, huh? Well, if you like the chipmunks so much, you can have all their nuts." And with that, she threw the nuts in the other furry's face. The other little eyefulls did the same and ran after Gabby, leaving the poor little creature all alone. Later that same day, Gabby led everyone into the meadow to play a game with her ball. "Hurry, hurry," she yelled. "We're going to play a brand new Gabby game." "What is a Gabby game?" one of them asked. Gabby quickly answered, "Silly, a Gabby game is a game where Gabby makes up all the rules and everybody has to play." "Well, that doesn't seem very fair," another little furry said. "Well," said Gabby, "you don't have to play, but it is my ball, so it's a Gabby game or nothing." All but the one furry eyefull decided to play, looking to Gabby for the rules of the brand new Gabby game. So she explained the simple rules of her Gabby game. "First, everyone throws the ball to me, and then I throw the ball to someone else. The winner is the one who catches the ball the most." "Wait a minute," said one of the eyefulls. "If we always have to throw the ball back to you, then you will always win." "Of course," said Gabby gleefully. "After all, it's my ball, and this is a Gabby game." All the other eyefulls looked at one another, and then back at Gabby, who was throwing the ball idly from one hand to another. "You know," said the eyefulls, "we have gone from pond to stream to see and do only those things that you wanted to see and do. We don't want to play your Gabby games anymore." Then they all walked away, leaving Gabby alone in the meadow with her favorite ball and her only friend, herself. "Pooh! What do they know? They'll find that without me there isn't any fun. I'll just wait and see." With the ball as a pillow, she stretched in the cool grasses of the meadow, waiting for the other furry eyefulls to return. She waited and waited, and finally fell asleep, dreaming selfish dreams of always winning at her Gabby games. When she woke, she found that she was still alone. The other furry eyefulls had not come back. "Fools," she thought. "Well, I'll show them who's the boss." Gabby set off in search of her friends through the forest of ferns. She searched and searched until she finally found them sitting and staring at all the beautiful blooming flowers in a tiny, tiny meadow. "Well, it's time for a new Gabby game," Gabby announced. "Come on. We are all going to go throw nuts at the chipmunks again. Let's go." She raced back through the forest to the tree where the chipmunks lived. But when she got there, she found that she was all alone. Nobody wanted to play her Gabby games anymore. With a thump, she sat on an old rotted stump and began to cry and cry. Over her crying, she could hear the soft, gentle slithering of Cartouche, a kindly blind snake who lived in the forest. "Why do you cry, little one?" asked the snake in a quiet hiss. "None of the other furry eyefulls want to play my Gabby games anymore." Then in a halting voice she told Cartouche of all that had happened. Cartouche wrapped himself around a sun-warmed rock and thought for a moment. "Gabby," he said, "things are to be seen and games are to be played, not just to win, but for the enjoyment of the game or the pleasure in the things that you look at. The other furry eyefulls don't want to play anymore because you always have to win. When you are ready to play and to see those things around you for the enjoyment of them rather than the victory, you will always win even though you may lose the game. Gabby's tears slowly dried in the warmth of Cartouche's words, and she knew that he was right. Day after day thereafter, Gabby learned to play with the other furry eyefulls. She learned to win in losing, and under the watchful eye of a kindly blind snake called Cartouche, she never played her Gabby games again. When you lead and when you play your selfish Gabby games, remember it's not just winning that makes the game a game. So Gabby had a lot to learn about being a good friend and taking turns and being a kind person, or I should say eyeful. But it took her a while, and because she was being so selfish, she ended up hurting the chipmunks, and she ended up hurting some friends and doing not nice things to them. And when we get bossy and when we forget that other people's feelings are important, we can sometimes do things that can be hurtful to them. And if we do, we need to make sure to apologize and try to do better. Gabby had a lot to learn, didn't she? And what do you think that Gabby learned through this experience? And how did Cartouche help her to come to see that when we play games, it's more fun to be a part of the game, and that it's, even though sometimes it's hard to lose, it's also fun to celebrate when our friends win, or to just enjoy spending time with our friends. So it's okay to want to win, but if we don't win, we should still be willing to be okay with that and be able to still remain friends with those that we play these games with. And I want to thank you all for joining me in the world of the Serendipity Books, and where we met Gabby. And I hope that you all enjoyed this story, and there will be more friends that we'll meet in the Serendipity world later in later adventures. And I wish you all the best as you explore the wonderful world of books all around you. Goodbye, my friends. I'll see you next time.